5 questions about carbon filters. Those big white cylinder things that indoor gardeners use to clean their grow room's air. Filters themselves are most commonly positioned at the beginning of an extraction system, hung up high in the grow room or the grow tent itself, attached to the sucking side of an extraction fan with duct tape and a noise-reducing clamp. A good carbon filter effectively cleans your grow room's air while creating the least drag on your ventilation system. Air from your grow room is effectively pulled through your carbon filter. It passes over a carbon bed. Odors and particulates are adsorbed by the carbon, and the resulting purified air is either recirculated within your grow room, known as air scrubbing, or extracted away. I'm going to focus on carbon filters used for extraction purposes, as this is the most common and performance and quality are vital. Question 1. Carbon quality. The most important issues are carbon source and quality. Carbon filters contain either pelletized or granulated carbon forms from sources such as coconut or amorphous carbon. Now, pelletized carbon creates the least drag due to its uniform shape. However, its regularity exposes less actual carbon to the air system than irregular shaped granulated carbon. It's also generally much denser and heavier and contains much smaller microtype pores. Granular carbon generally holds its natural shape as it was processed. It has much more surface area per gram, and when chosen correctly, it has larger mesotype pores, great for catching large organic particles. Both pelletized and granular carbon can be effective at removing odors and pollutants. However, it's the natural porosity of the granular that is most important when it comes to removing larger volatile organic compounds, VOCs for short, or odors to the rest of us, that derive from plant terpenes. It's worth noting that larger particles will be broken down by pelletized carbon, but after a while, they will clog the fissures in the passages through its much smaller micropores. This prematurely chokes the carbon, which stops it from absorbing. Think of a golf ball trying to pass through a garden hose. Hey, I could have picked worse scenarios. Whereas carbon filters containing mesopore granular carbon are less susceptible to this premature clogging and continue to eat VOCs for longer. The extract carbon to look out for, the creme de la creme, so to speak, is RC48. This mesopore carbon can absorb well over 30% of its own weight in odors and particulates, whereas lesser carbons can choke out just at 10% saturation. Question 2. Pressure drop. A good quality carbon filter should not reduce the static pressure inside your ventilation system by more than 30%. Otherwise, it could be bottlenecking your ventilation system and you risk a sort of grow room suffocation, leading to heat and humidity issues. Question 3. Duct size. Remember to choose a carbon filter and fan that are designed to work together. They should have the same duct diameter so that they fit together easily, and the CFMs, that's cubic feet per minute of air moved, should be well matched. If a filter is rated at 800 CFM and the fan you have required to cool your room is a 900 CFM unit, you should choose a larger filter. Filters are precisely matched to ensure that there is enough carbon to cope with the amount of air you intend to pass through it. Pairing a carbon filter with a fan that is too powerful will lead to insufficient contact time between the air and the carbon bed, meaning odors have more of a chance of getting through. It will also reduce the working life of your carbon filter, and your fan will suffer as well, so avoid the mismatch and choose the same or larger filter match for the fan. For a sizing guide, check out my other videos here. Question 4. Lifespan. The working life of your carbon filter depends on the application, and a quality carbon filter can last up to 2 years or more in most grow rooms. Remember, overly humid grow rooms, i.e. 85% RH or more, will render your carbon filter ineffective. Question 5. Are they reversible? And what about inline filters? Okay, that was 2 questions, but it's worth noting that carbon filters don't have to be located at the start of your extraction system. Most, if not all, carbon filters can be blown into as well as being sucked through. As for reversible carbon filters, this refers to changing the top color and the base over in an attempt to extend its natural life. I hear claims that only 65% of the carbon inside filters, mostly the carbon towards the top of the filter, actually gets used. However, in practical rather than marketing terms, if the top half of the filter starts to get full before the bottom, then the air will naturally find the least path of resistance and flow through the bottom in good time. As for inline carbon filters, these are designed to work in the middle of your extraction system. They have duct ports at both sides, being and air passes from one end to the other. Be sure to note the arrow showing the recommended airflow. Finally, I highly recommend buying an extra pre-filter. That's the little white fabric sleeve that fits on the outside of the carbon filter. Then when you put it in the washing machine every 6 months, you can fit a new spare right away. Also, make sure you have some hanging hooks, fixture hangers, duct tape, and noise-reducing clamps to make installing your carbon filter a whole lot easier. Okay, I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Adios, amigos. This is Everest being extracted out.